Hi everyone, welcome to Outdoor Bound TV. I'm Kurt Walbeck. You know, as hunters and fishermen, we all have bucket list trips that we'd love to go on. Well, from talking with many hunters across the country, one destination keeps coming up over and over: New Zealand. On this week's show, we get a chance to follow Craig Thiessen from central Wisconsin on his bucket list trip for Monster Red Stag.
Hi, I'm Craig Thiessen. I was born down in Madison, Wisconsin, moved up here to central Wisconsin, did my high school around here. After high school, left for about 10 years to pursue my career in dentistry. I specialized. I am an endodontist now in Wausau, Wisconsin, and I reside just south of there. So as an endodontist, you would never usually come to see me. What you have to do is go to see your general dentist. If you have a toothache, they would refer you on if you need a root canal or other specific surgeries that would entail in my specialty. And then I'm the one that gets them out of pain and hopefully helps them be able to save their tooth. We ended up doing the hunt with Leithen Valley. Once I arrived there, it was next to meet our guide, and I decided I wanted to do this hunt with my bow. It's something that makes it a little bit more challenging. Definitely, being in close contact and being able to put a stalk on with spot and stalk on these animals makes it challenging. So leading up to this trip, I did a lot of shooting beforehand. I did go to my local archery shop and did 3D targets there, but also in my backyard, I would just shoot at random, distances. I'd always zero in at 25 yards and then go all the way back to about 70, 80 yards. All that preparation led me to, when I arrived in New Zealand, I was able to unpack my bow, put the sight back on it, take a couple of shots, and I knew that I was going to be comfortable anywhere up to 50 yards. So we're here on day 2. Morning, nice morning, a little fog out, clear skies. Doesn't look like rain today. We're gonna see if we can get up on some higher spots here and glass and find some stags and see if we can either put one to sleep later or get a stalk of one this morning. But we're gonna start moving out here to the next spot.
We've got those 3 stags bedded up in that gully. We've just got the wind coming across over our shoulders here.
Yep.
Just don't know what it's going to do. Once it hits in that gully, it might swing round up. In that case, if it does, we'll either come back around
or
down, or come along and back down. But it might not be. It might just be constant that way. So we'll just walk along here and we'll just be careful. We'll glass up in there.
All right, let's go see what we can do. We were trying to figure out how we could actually get to them because there wasn't a lot of cover besides some tussock grasses, no real trees that we could hide behind. And so we had to kind of slowly crawl a little bit, then get up and kind of see where they would go because they were just kind of grazing along. And then the next thing we know is they were bedded down and we're trying to find where they were. So we'd have to kind of come over the little ravine to look down in to see where they were and then kind of go back so that we could have some cover with just ground clearance between us. That's pretty much all we had. The nice things with the red stags, the antlers are so big, that's usually what you end up seeing is when they're bedded down, they just make a little turn, and that's what you end up seeing. And so you're just glassing and you see that movement, and you just have to kind of keep putting a stalk on them.
So we got one bedded down over here that we found before. We don't know if it's with those other two or not. It's really hard to get a good angle on him with the sun glare to figure out his size. The left side palmates him really nicely. The right side has a little bit of a kicker to it, but again, at this angle, it's hard to tell. So we're gonna see if we can get up around and get a different vantage point, take a look again, and then see if we can find those other two as well. So a little bit more recon and see what we can do here.
So we finally get up and around and we're like, okay, they're straight downhill from us. And I would say probably about 120 yards. And we just had to keep slowly, moving in. And, that we only saw the two, and we didn't know if the other third one, left and went around the other side of the hill or not. So we're moving, looking, and kind of coming in there. And, we had a really good idea on the one that I wanted to go after. Next thing, we're sitting there, and out of nowhere, all of a sudden they get up. And we're like, no, like, all this time, I'm like, thought for sure we were gonna get this done, and it just didn't happen. And the third one maybe spotted us or something, they didn't like it, if the wind thermals came up or not, but they took off.
So earlier this morning we found 3 red stags kind of wandering, grazing up through here. We made a stalk up and around to kind of get an eye point on them. Hard to tell where they were. Kind of came down, found the heaviest red stag out of the 3. 2 of them were bedded right next to each other. The third one we assumed was off to the right, and got to about 50 yards, and there was another higher bush that we could kind of set up behind. We only had another maybe 10 yards, not even, to that. We were lying perfectly still, and but that's bow hunting. So we'll find some more and go after them.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Mission by Matthews and Vortex Optics.
So the whole trip to New Zealand all came about with a couple of us sitting around talking, okay, what do we want to do next? And the opportunity came up to go to New Zealand to hunt red stag, which we all kind of looked at each other like, well, yeah, bucket list for sure, but do we do it? And we decided that, well, if we commit now, in a couple years, we have to do it. Well, those couple years went by really quick, and all of a sudden it was reality. And getting there and flying in was just unreal. Just seeing the mountains and the water and stuff, and how you have to fly in there a specific way because the runway is so short. You come in and just the atmosphere, getting off the plane and being like, knowing that it's still a vacation, but yet there to do something, it was exciting.
Right. See him in that furnace.
Yeah, you can see them all. So we're here on the second full day. The ones we were looking, red stags that we were looking at last night, a couple of them grouped up with the ones we saw in that first half day, which kind of makes it difficult when they're all together. Found a couple more down on the hillside, but they're all out in the open. So right now I think it's just gonna be a waiting game to kind of see what they do and see if we can figure out a plan, but looks like there's about 3 or 4 of them over on the hillside. We try to get in there, might be a little bit difficult, so we're gonna have to kind of maybe wait this out and see what's going on and figure out a game plan and see what they do. All right, so we got 2 stags kind of sitting on this hillside. Looks like it's, depending on wind directions once we get down there, if we can come up over the top and get a good angle at them or not. A little bit more difficult just because there's going to be 2 sets of eyes, but looks like they're both kind of laying facing the same direction, which is going to be a little bit helpful for us too. So head down. See if we can get up on top, peek over, and see if we can make something happen this morning.
We started coming in, and little by little, just kind of like crawling in there a little bit. This is it. This is the one that I want, and see if the opportunity presents itself. I'm looking over the ravine, and I can just start to see some antlers. I took a couple more steps closer. We're able to kind of crouch up and range find it at 42 yards. So the top of its antlers are 42 yards. Now it's just that waiting game of, is he gonna stand up? How am I gonna get him up? Or how long am I gonna sit here? Just wanted to just take this slow because I'm like, this is it. I hope this is gonna be it. And next thing I know, either he didn't spotted us or one of the other ones spotted us, and this was gonna happen. The arrow releases and I hear the thud. And of course, the first thing is like, do you hit it? Did I hit it? Where did I hit it? And it just takes off. And now it's just the waiting game of, where to go and watching where it's going, because you don't have another chance to knock another arrow. And we just gave it time.
there.
Blood. Along here. Fit pretty well.
Yeah.
Bit more there.
Yep.
There he is, buddy. Nice work, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Look at this. Oh,
Big tops on them.
yeah, that's what I came here for. Oh,
Awesome, buddy. Wicked, man.
nice. Thank you.
Beautiful old bull.
Yeah, all those other, hunts paid off,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to regret the decision from yesterday, but this is what I came here for, right here, something a little bit more typical and stuff, and
Yeah.
bigger crowns on the top like this. Exactly. Yeah.
Real dark as well.
Yeah. Still has some velvet on
Yeah.
up on top.
Yeah. I think just the velvet's here just because he hasn't been able to get to all the tops, so he's got so much length in the way. So
Yeah,
I mean he's plenty of length up high.
definitely.
Big old mature bull. Pretty cool fronts on them, eh? How they both
Yeah,
turn out.
both kind of tune out a little bit there. We found this guy. We saw him early in the morning, but he was up on this ridge, and we really didn't have a chance. So we kind of went off, looked at some other stags, but they were all grouped together. And back in my mind, we kept thinking if we could come back to find him or not. We came back a couple hours later, and we were able to kind of find him down just off this little ridge. He was bedded down with another stag, ended up actually being 3 of them. The third one that we didn't even see. Put a really good stalk on him, about 42 yards downhill, and he stood up, drew back at the same time. I could tell he was getting pretty excited. He was kind of turning around back and forth and stuff, but I stood up, drew back, got a good shot a little bit farther forward than I wanted to. Came down through and finally found him. So all in all, great hunt. Definitely excited. All the hard work yesterday paid off. Kind of waited on something that I wanted, something more typical like this. So I'm stoked. It was a great hunt. Great time here. Weather was absolutely gorgeous and stuff. Probably a little bit too warm, but it's hunting. You can only take what Mother Nature gives you. But got this great red stag. I'm out of words, to be honest. It's definitely once in a lifetime, that's for sure. Everything here at Leithen Valley is top notch. Staff it's unbelievable. My guide, Stefan, was right on every time. Definitely, if it's something you're thinking about doing, bucket list item, 100%, this is where I would come back again for sure. There's definitely a lot of red stag that you look after and try to find what you want. The best idea is to have a picture in mind of what you're looking for before you come out. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of in shock because there's so many out here. Definitely worth the trip. I may have to actually make it a bucket list to come back again.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Mission Crossbows and HHA Sports.
Hey Craig, congratulations on that monster red stag there in New Zealand. Each spring, Outdoor Bound TV sponsors a trip to the South Island of New Zealand with Leithen Valley Trophy Hunts. If you're interested in going along, send us an email. The email address is right here on the screen. And we hope that you'll join us again here next week when we'll bring you more great hunting and fishing action from around the U.S., around Canada, and around the world, right here on Outdoor Bound TV.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Suffix and BMC Hooks.
This is gonna be the hardest thing ever. It's like the scripted stuff. Just what he said. You're just checking out all my Lululemon is what you're doing.
What's Lululemon? Is that like an ice cream shop or what? I don't know.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Real Deal Mineral and Mountain Dew.